Good day, students. You are welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be looking at basic ecological concepts. Here, we'll be looking at living organisms and how they relate to their environment. We'll be defining some terms under this topic, and I'm going to be explaining those terms also. The first term that we're going to be explaining is ecology. Ecology is the study of living organisms in relation to their environment. When you study living organisms and how they interact with their environment, you are termed an ecologist. Now we have two different types of ecology. We have horticology, that's the first type, and it has to do with the study of individual organism and its environment. It is concerned with the study of an individual or a single species of organism and its environment. For example, the study of a single rat and its environment is what we call horticology. Then we have the next type, which is synecology. Synecology is interrelationship between groups of organisms living together in an environment. It is concerned with the study of the interrelationship between group of organisms or species of organisms living together in an area. For example, the study of different organisms in a river in relation to their aquatic environment. Now let's move on to environment. What is environment? Environment consists of all factors in an organism's surrounding and that is affecting that particular organism. Example is food, water, parasite, predators, diseases. These are factors that can affect an organism in its surrounding, and it is termed environment. Let's move on to habitat. An habitat is the place where an organism lives. We have different types of habitat. Actually, we have three. We have the terrestrial, or what we call the land habitat. Example of terrestrial habitat is the desert, the forest. We also have savanna, and so on and so forth. Then we have the aquatic habitat, or what we call water habitat. Example are the ocean, the stream, the pond. These are examples of aquatic habitat. We also have the arboreal habitat. Arboreal is the treetop and trunks. All these are types of habitats. Then we move on to ecological niche. Ecological niche is the part or portion of a habitat where an organism lives and the role it performs in it. For example, caterpillar and aphids, what they do on herbaceous plants is to feed on them. And you can also see this dung-hill beetle, they perform a particular role in the habitat by rolling up dirt around in that particular habitat. That will mean by ecological niche. It has carved a niche for itself. So ecological niche is the portion of an habitat or an organism live and the role it performs in it. Next one is population. Population is the refer to the group of organisms of the same species living together within a habitat at a particular time. Note, the word same species is very important when defining this particular term. It refers to the group of organisms of the same species living together within a habitat at a particular time. Let's move on to community. Community comprises of all the population of living things that live together in the same habitat at a particular time. You can see community has to do with different species. It has to do with different organisms that are living together in a particular habitat at a particular time. So please note the differences. Population has to do with the same species, while community has to do with different species. Let's move on to biosphere. Biosphere is the part of the earth where living things are found. The biosphere, or what we call, is also called ecosphere, and it is a zone of the earth occupied by living organisms. It is a layer of life which exists on the earth's surface. Then the biosphere is a narrow zone where complex biological and chemical activities occur. It can be found on land, water, and air, and it provides habitat for organisms like animals, plants, and microorganisms. We have three divisions under the biosphere. The first division is the hydrosphere. This is the part of the earth that is composed of water. The hydrosphere is the liquid or aquatic part of the earth or living world. It covers about 70% of the earth's crust. It holds waters in various forms. It can be in solid form, that is in ice, that like ice. It can also be in liquid form like water, and it can also be in the gaseous form like water vapor. Examples of hydrosphere are lakes, pools, springs, oceans, sea, pond, rivers, streams. All these are examples of hydrosphere. The next division is atmosphere. Atmosphere is the layer of the earth that is enveloped by air, and the atmosphere is the gaseous portion of the earth. It is a layer of gases surrounding the earth. Over 99% of the atmosphere lies within 30 kilometers of the earth's surface, and it contains gases like nitrogen, which forms 78% of the atmosphere. We have oxygen, which forms 21%. We have carbon dioxide, which is 0.03%, and the rest are occupied by inert gases or rare gases. The last part or last division of the biosphere is lithosphere, and that is the solid part of the earth. The lithosphere is the solid portion of the earth. It is the outermost layer of or the zone of the earth crust. It is made up of rocks and mineral materials. It also represents like 30% of the earth's surface. The outermost layer of the landmass are made up of loose rock materials like gravel, like sand, and soil. And lithosphere form the basis of all human settlement. That is, human beings will settle on the lithosphere. The biosphere is the largest and the highest level of biological organization and is composed of various ecosystems. The biosphere is the largest, and under the biosphere we have ecosystem. Under the ecosystem we have community, then we have population, then you can talk about the environment, and so on and so forth. So biosphere is the largest and the highest level of biological organization. Now let's look at the ecosystem. The ecosystem is a self-supporting unit or system consisting of all living things interacting with each other and their environment. Now, a pond can be an ecosystem. Even a swimming pool can be an ecosystem, or an aquarium can be an ecosystem. So ecosystem is just a natural unit made up of living organisms and their non-living components interacting together to produce a stable system. An ecosystem refers to a community of plants and animals functioning together with their non-living environment. In other words, ecosystem comprises or consists of living factors like plant and animal interacting with their non-living factors in an environment. So let's look at the component of an ecosystem. There are two components of an ecosystem, which is the biotic component and also have the abiotic component. Biotic is the living factors while abiotic is the non-living factors. You can see here that bio means life, and that means biotic has to do with living factors. Why abiotic? The R in abiotic means without, and the bio means life. So we have abiotic or abiotic factors, meaning non-living factors. Then let's move on to examples of biotic factors. I told you earlier there are plants, animals, fungi like mushroom. We have protists like paramecium, amoeba, and euglena. And also have bacteria. These are examples of biotic factor. Biotic component is the living part of an ecosystem. At least it is composed of all living things in the ecosystem. The living things are referred to as biotic factors, and they can be divided into three. We have the producers, like the green plants. These are the producers. Then we also have the consumers, like your predators, the heterotrophs, the parasite, disease. They are the consumers. Then we also have the decomposers, like your fungi and bacteria. These are the three parts of the biotic component. Then we have the abiotic component. This refers to the non-living part of the ecosystem. That is the part consisting of non-living things. The non-living things are referred to as abiotic factor. You can see in this picture here, we have sunlight, we have wind, rain, water, soil. All these are abiotic factors. And you can see temperature, so a form of abiotic factor. It affects the plant, and we have sunlight affecting the plant also, because plants need sunlight to make their food. We also have the soil, we have water, we have climate, and we have air. So the abiotic factors can be divided into three. We have the climatic factors, like your rainfall, humidity, temperature, sunlight. All these are climatic factors. Then we also have the edaphic factor. Edaphic factor has to do with soil. They are the soil factors, like your soil topography, your soil pH. Then we have the water current, turbidity of water. All these are edaphic factors. Then we also have another factor, which is the inorganic materials and nutrients, such as we have carbon dioxide, we have oxygen, we have nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus. All these are inorganic materials that also form part of the abiotic factor. And so we have other factors like dust, like storm, like fire, like water. All these are other factors that can also affect an organism in an ecosystem, and they also form components of the ecosystem. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to this channel. God bless you.